Okay. Well, just like always, we will begin with a short meditation. For today's class, we will do a formal one about uh, the core of fundamental teaching, so that moving forward, I guess more of us will speak a common language because it is based off a set of understanding. Okay. Just like always, we bring our mind back to ourselves with the intention to taking rest, taking break. Our practices shouldn't be an activity that you work for. It should be as if you're ending off your day. There's nothing more to do. Actually, there's nothing to do. Once you lay down, lay low, let go of everything, your awareness naturally comes to the fact that everything are just releasing all the muscle tension, all the topic, the worries, the day-to-day things, everything just draining off and letting go. We can then allow our attention to rest with that fact and enjoy. It is the same as how we usually take rest, take break, but just a touch, a small emphasis on the mindfulness aspect, a little bit of attention toward mindfulness. That's all. But the base, the foundation, lies on an activity that we all are well familiar with. The point of mindfulness here, among other things, is to allow the rest, the break, to be effective, allowing the rejuvenating to happen and continue to do so. Any interferences, even though it seems like you are resting, but actually your mind isn't. Mindfulness allow you to allow the positive state of mind not only to arise but also to maintain. Every second that it is maintained, purity or positive energy are coursing through, bringing up, allowing the mind to run a system all automatic to deal with the tiredness, the chaos, confusion, stress, all these things that we coined pollution. And all of these things happen naturally by itself, automatically without any of our interferences. So therefore, just enjoy the way we all know and have done before, with a touch of mindfulness. The trick here is to remind yourself to be aware of your object, clearly aware of your object, often enough that your mind doesn't wander off. To establish ourselves in the present moment and present moment alone, and observe as you are shifting from one moment to the next, one after the other, and we are practicing our mindfulness one moment at a time. Now that we have allowed the mind to hear itself, clean itself, we can gently open up our eyes. Hello, everyone. Hi, Cindy.
Hello everyone, hi Jimmy. Hello Carmen.
How's you guys doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Today, Carmen asked if we can do sort of a pseudo formal class, going back to the basics of hi Miriam, going back to the basic of what my teacher and I and Carmen have been my teacher has been teaching, and Carmen and I have been studying too. It'll be a pseudo formal class because we wanted to explore this topic together. Hopefully that for those who has been through this before, they can then share what they have learned and what it means for them, so that other people may have a different perspective or different deeper understanding to it too. All right. It start off with a conversation that I have with my teacher. Is this book that my teacher Carmen and I are writing. That is about basically what we are going to go through in the class. And I asked him, how should I start the book with? It's not a book that is appealing for all people. It's not a usual book, but the content of it throughout my time being a monk and for my teacher, more than 30 years, have proven to have helped people across all ages, all nationality, belief, ethnicity. And so what should be the start a opening that captures people's heart? But more importantly, what should be the starting point that give the reader the enough weight for them to not only go through the entire book, but also give the content the necessary weight and importance, uh, so that it is they are able to then utilize it. And the weight here is important. Without weight, it doesn't command a priority. Just like medication, I myself is diagnosed with gout, but because I never give that it weight on my medication, there has to be always someone telling me to take my meds every day and not miss it. Now, even though it's something important, but when I don't give it, then it's not in my mind even sometime. And the topic that my teacher start off with is something that everyone knows of. And it's been talked and discussed a lot already. And this topic is all about pain and suffering. It's a topic near and dear to most people, to many. It's just that it might be that they didn't put that much importance to it, as they might not be facing a lot of it at the moment. Everyone all once believed that in their life it'll be all fine and dandy. That, all these stories that you hear from other people, elder people, people that come before you, the crisis in life, you feel that maybe I might have not, I might not have to go through any of it. But then you see that these crises exist and are sprinkled out throughout your life. The one that you might be thinking of might not have yet arrived. So we will be talking about the thing that have already arrived and passed. We can break it down to different age group. When you're young, the crisis in your life is, what if my parents are no longer with me? That's the biggest, for children, beyond other things, that is one of the biggest fears. Being part and separated by the one or two individuals that means and is the world for them. You see that even famine, even the lack of food, money, shelter for children isn't that they aren't as affected by it as being able to be near their mother or their father. For a baby, anything, as long as they're with their parents, they're okay. Meaning that being their parents are at their top priority, something that will break them if it's gone. As we go a bit older, uh, having friend, fitting in, family, fitting in with the class of school, that will be the next crisis. Going through teenage years, things about love from your friend, your family, love from the opposite or same sex, the partner basically is the next main thing. And you see from that point onward, there are already some people who have to face one of these crises, heartbrokenness. Crises like these doesn't not only exist in that specific aspect, but in various aspects in life. It just so happens that for children, the aspects are limited, more often than not limited. Mostly about love, warmth, and care from people around them, be it their friends, their family, or uh, someone they're pursuing. And the neglect of it, and the abandonment of it, or the rejection of it, can be a crisis of their life. Shipping furthermore, going to the young adulthood, that also still exists, but at the same time, the career prospect and setting up for family will be another thing, especially in the late 20s, early to mid 30s, where money will be the biggest thing in their life. The trouble, the crisis of not knowing, not having enough in your pocket to eat, to live, to pay the rent, to this, to that, to take care of family. And for not accounting for what, for the loss of life of your loved ones, of your grandparents, of your pet, of your friends, of your family, the different rejection, the self-esteem, the not fitting in, all these crises plague throughout. We know of them, we went through them already, but it's not at the top of our mind. But when asked, do you remember your last crisis, your last agony, your last big thing? Do you remember them? Can you recall the taste, the flavor, how much suffering and agonizing it is, how much that you have to endure? To a point where you feel like you can't endure anymore. There's no space in your mind, in your life to take rest, take break. And there's no more space. Many people survive, but some either by their own choosing or not are not able to survive. And it's not the first time too. Even happened once, maybe it's okay. Maybe. But then there's still many of these down the road. The biggest one, the big one, the medium one, the small one, all littered around the timeline of your life. What if you meet again once or twice then? Thrice, quartiles, fifth time. How much can you endure? Do you think you can endure? Even if we don't think we can, nah, but we have to face it anyway. Find ways to survive, find ways to keep on living. And these things prime over everything, trump everything that we believe are important. Life, family, education, money. Now, when push comes to shove and you're just faced with suffering, agony, there's nothing beyond the need, the want, the desire to be free from those suffering, agony. And that's where the core, the true essence of every being comes into play. Nah? The topic of suffering, something is hard to bear, difficult to endure. The question is, why do we have to suffer? What is the origination? How they came to be? What are the factors, the mechanism that leads to those, we call them bombs, not time bombs, because it was waiting to explode any moment, any minute. How does those things came to be? Without crew, even if you know of that them, know or not, you have to go through these bombs regardless. But every problem, once known of it, allows you to set a goal for yourself. How can I then be free from it? How can I then prevent it? How can I then find a better life that not only remove myself, but to be far away from those things too? This is the core essence of Buddhism, core essence of life. I mean, in Buddhism, but you see, humanity, everyone move forward just because they don't want to suffer. No one want to be in those states. We learn, we study, we develop, we grow, all because we want to be free, far away from suffering, things that we have to endure physically and mentally. Even if you're not suffering, you want to be in further. Hence, let's find happiness. Liberating liberation from suffering, attainment of happiness. These two things are what push humanity forward in various ways, not depending on what do you have a liking to. Some people like to party, some sees some occupation, some way of life as their means to do so. But no matter what, which path, which variant, so many ways, many diversity, but the core of it, the root of it is one. the same. And that's where the book starts. Now this is the beginning. That's where the book starts. The book starts at looking and investigating what is the root cause of suffering. It might seem something grand, something uh like Lord of the Rings or like this grand adventure that you have to go through, but actually it's not. It's made easy, made simple, but requires us to take time to reflect on your common knowledge, common sense, life experiences that you yourself gone through before. Sees them not only yourself but other people too. For these are universal truth. In Buddhism, we call them the noble truth. Yeah, and so the books begin with this opening. Before we go on, any anyone want to any questions? I say it's a pseudo class, but with the opening statement, do you kind of see or have a time to reflect to see is that true or not? No. What move us forward? What maneuver us and our friend, our family, our society forward? The gravity of the book lies on the readers or the listeners' own contemplation. Because only when you realize and come to agreement, then the information will have some sort of weight. Mm. At first, when we talk about this topic and what is the cause, more often than not, most people would then able to answer. Now, it's not something that we don't have answer to, but the answer that they gave isn't effective. Isn't effective in identifying the real cause, and they begin just like everyone by pointing at the potential culprit in the world outside of them. If you look at politics, you watch the news, people say it's the government, the politician, as the cause of all the crazy stuff. That's why uh, have to go and vote, go and this, go and that. Uh, but no matter how many government they change, their lives still have to suffer. Does it get better? Yes, and not to say that government bodies doesn't help, they do. But just a part of it, some of it. In every government, everyone suffer one way or the other. Now, next one would be what can be the the people around you, different characters in your life, your friend, your family, your boss, co-worker, can be different things. Can be become that thing, this thing, other beings, human or ghosts in Eastern countries now. So many things. Fingers can point and go everywhere. Mm. But then we are reminded by our good friends, now wiser ones who also point out that you also have some flaw too. It's not all their fault now, but inside you also play a role too. Then it start to then shift from everyone, everything outside to us, not to you, to the individual. Mm. And what about the individual then? What about them? What do they have? How can we decipher them? And we look at what the way we interact with the world, only two ways: our speech and our action, and only those two things. Oh, because you said this, because you said that, because you done this, you done that, because you lie, because you stole, because now these. Okay, all right, sure. Okay, if I take that and I fix it, does it work? Yes, but not all of it, correct? It works because they're not wrong, they are right, but not yet at the root. Same with pointing fingers outside. Changing government, does it help? Yes, but not everything. That's at the root too. Back to self, back to speech, action. Then going further, we talk about mindset. Now talk about one's desire, one mindset, your views of life, and they point to now look at you. You are a bigot, you are racist, you are this, are that. Now different terms now to point to the views that people hold. Not talking about the mind here, not the mind that then govern the speech, the action. I'm making deeper now. And one fix that has helped, yes, it does help. But not everything yet. Not the root of everything. Uh, No matter how you see, not even your parents, not even someone you think are so calm, so wise, even they do something, even they have to face trouble, even they have to suffer. And so you see, I might not be the most right view person, might not be the best, have the best mind, but those with good mind also have to suffer. So why do they suffer then? Uh, then find a cause within it too. And this is where we will begin with a story, a observation, a story that speaks to the root cause that then have a rippling effect from the mind to the body, speech, action to the thing outside. All right, so far so good. Okay, a story that people in who's in the group knows of it, but I want you to listen and get the gravity of it. If you can catch the keyword, key point, is not no longer is about the story, but the essence of it. It's a story about little sea turtles. In observation of the natural world, you can only of the natural world that happen, but a phenomena that is interesting, intriguing, seems like tried and mystery, but a phenomena that everyone knows of it too, even if no one thought of them. A sea turtle, their eggs lies by the shore, hatch out in one beautiful day, hatch out one after the other. The very moment they graze upon the world, their mind holds no information, no prior knowledge to teach them, to direct them, no parents, no guardian to nurture them, to advise them, no one. Now, when they first hatch, they all, instead of going forward to the city, left to the mountain, or right to the forest, they all flap their cute little legs, fin. I don't know what to call it. Not to the sea. Everyone, every single one. I've seen so many documentaries. They're so cute. I just and run there. They don't crawl. They run. They run so fast to the ocean. Every single one. And as they're going through, now you can imagine them going through. They're not even scared of the wave crashing in. From a being having no information in their head, the question is, how do they know? to immediately run down the shore toward the sea, toward the waters. An answer that we all know, and every single place that my teacher travel to, people, an answer that rings true in their mind. The word instinct comes up. That people say, their natural instinct guides them, run through it. Not only that, but as they go to the sea, the things that they have to do, the things to eat, holes to avoid, place to swim to or to hide in, season to come back and mate and lay eggs. No one ever taught them. And the conclusion for this story, this true case study, is the fact that one, instinct exists. We know of it even though no one taught us. This concept we know. Secondly, is the instinct that teaches the sea turtle. And that's the key point. It teaches. It do four things. It advise, it lead, it order, it teaches the sea turtles to behave ever at the very moment they are born. Now you see this phenomena not only happens in the sea turtles but also in other reptilian too. Birds. Now there are some birds who, the moment they are hatched, they have to then push all the other eggs down the nest instinctively to kill the competition. Now birds can't see anything but then have to lift up their head and open up their mouth to eat, to feed. No one taught them. Uh, Even if they have a mother, a parent, still, even us too. And it is the fact that instinct teaches that intrigues, that highlights something special. But human believe that instincts are limited to wild animal, but human are somehow superior, are free from it. But in truth, it is not. As proven by the second story. So far, so good. Before we go on, keyword keep on that instinct exists. It teaches. That's how the turtles behave to begin with. That's how the whole turtle like, and that's how they are turtles. They are guided by instinct. For human, it's a story of a person, of a man in a village. He heard a news that his house was robbed and assaulted. So he ran back to his house, seeing that his wife and child is crying, sobbing inside his house. Now imagine like a some rural area somewhere, and you heard this in a village somewhere. Oh, the man come back home, seeing his wife and child crying and in pain, with anger. The voice inside of his mind shout out, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill whoever did this to my son, to my daughter and my wife." But then at that moment, the other voice then came up to him and said, "Wait a minute. If you decide to go through, not investigate and go kill this man, then you will obviously be caught, be jailed, locked up for years and years. How would then your wife and child survive?" The man once one heard a thought, contemplated, and said, "Oh, correct. That shouldn't be. I shouldn't do that." Now the voice that provokes then relentless. They advise a different one. They say, "You know what? If you can't kill, then why don't we hire someone? Just go in and hunt this guy down and just beat him up." Mm. And the voice of conscious, the voice that holds him back with reason, and then tell him, Well, if you then brings all your buddies and tell them to go and hurt the guy, make sure if he doesn't die, if the robber doesn't die, then he obviously know who hire these people to come hit him. He know your wife, he know your house. He will surely come back, and then how and you, your son and your wife gonna be? Oh, the man then can't help but to have to agree. So you see, the man are conflicted by the two voices that arise up to him, advising him what to do, unrelenting until back and forth. As he reject, a new thought, new idea comes up to replace. And once he have accepted, then the next stage begin. And the question to everyone here is that, have we find ourselves in similar position before? Not something like this happened to us before, right? In times of extreme, time of crisis, always the two side do not do, go not go. Now one strong emotion, one with logic to stop it. Now you can't help but have to listen in. And these are the exact same experiences that the little sea turtles have experienced too. And they don't know what to do. Uh, They have no information, blank. But then voices, thoughts, ideas keep on popping up, and suddenly have to force to decide. It seems like we have thought of it ourselves, but we did not. We never put any effort. We are only the one who makes the decision to follow through, or to not follow through. Right? So far, so good. I want every story. Yes, Miriam, go ahead.
I have a question of intuition and instinct. Is the intuition the same thing as the instinct, or the intuition is just the is like the just the positive and good instinct? I don't know. Is that clear? Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. In Thai, instinct, I need to explain further what instinct means. In Thai, the word instincts, we call them สัญชาตญาณ สัญชาตญาณ it's a compound word. Except of สัญชาต สัญชาต mean innate, mean innate existing. Now we use the word สัญชาต for nationality, right? Who I'm Thai. I'm innately, and as I'm born Thai. Carmen is German. Miriam, you are Italian. Yes. See, the innate, the existing. Yana means inner knowledge. So สัญชาตญาณ means inner existing knowledge at birth, already inside, always there, has always been. That's what instinct means. Now, intuition, we use a different word. We call them Prishayana. It is a elevated form. Instinct comes when you have intuition comes when you have already have some information about something. You have learned, or already go through some sort of studying already. And then from that part of information, intuition then comes of it. But instinct, the difference is that it's not developed, meaning that there's no information to go out of. We use instinct in times where we don't know what to do. You're in a new country, new situation. You go on a date for the first time in your life. You have no idea about the dating game and don't know how to interact with guys or girls. And this is where the instinct will tell you, hey, pose like this, hey, go like that, do this, do that, try to impress. But intuition is already you study, you learn, you have some information to do. In Pishayan, you see the word yana again, yana at the end, so knowledge too. That's for intuition. And we see even in those example, always the wise telling us what to do. Now when you go on dates or you are in a new situation, awkward, and I don't know what to do, then it starts like, hey, why don't you do this, do that, try to find a way out. We really always with our own thought, but you're just there listening. But then the question becomes the next one, nah? But why do I call them instinct, even when there are two different voices in my head telling me to do, not to do, to go, not to go, like this in the story of the man. And they, and then we have to look back at the sea turtle again. Why is it that their lives are so different? Even though all of them rely on their instincts, but the outcome is so vast and varied and different. Now, some sea turtles, their instinct help them, some instinct lead them to their death. Right? Some instinct lead them to swim to a wrong direction, do this wrong thing, wrong that. Unable to, some instinct help them to live their life to the middle age. Some instinct, some serials are able to, sorry, the better phrase would be, the instinct then sometimes help the serials live a long life. Now you see, there are different variation of turtles too. And why is that? And so when even in Papaya or in other place that we go through, people give so many answers, but the Buddha have an answer for this one. He said that it's different because, as you can see, no, the instinct follows the existence of three natures that exist everywhere. In Pali, we call them kusala, good, meaning a nature, a happening that is good, wholesome, happy, right, beautiful, prosperity, health, vitality. So these positive things. And therefore, one of the instincts are good instinct that embody those nature. The opposite one, akusala, that's kusala and akusala are meaning bad, is the opposite, striving for harm, evil, toxic, destruction, suffering, always to degrade and destroy. And there's also instinct for that too. We call them the instinct that embody that nature. We call them the bad instinct. And these are the two that we are familiar with, like the man in the story. Go and kill, don't go kill. The good have to warn the man that, hey, the bad instinct is trying to make you do something that will harm you at the end. Make you be in prison, put your wife and child in danger. Now twice, now in the example you see now two. The third one, the Buddha said, is a nature that doesn't fit the two criteria. It's not good and also not bad. It's some, I cannot say that. It's indeterminate. We call them apakata, or not good, not bad. A third thing, basically. That's why the voice on our head also follow these three different. We also have these three instincts that each follow a different nature, a nature that have distinctly different goals. Good, bad, not good, not bad. In Western world, a common analogy would be the devil and the angel. It's not a new concept too, right? It's not a new concept. The devil and angel on your shoulders, not the right, the wrong. But these instincts works differently though. And the bad instincts, this is the one that you want to talk about because we're talking about suffering here. The bad instincts, apart from the vices, the thought that you think is your own, apart from that, they also use pressure too. Remember all those crises? You remember them? Your latest crisis, how painful it is. Not only that, but the daily tiny crisis you go through, the stress, the guilt, the shame, the anxiety, the lust, the jealousy, the everything. We try to push them away. We try to run away from it. Run away from who? If it's from you, then stop thinking. Now that should be the common solution, no? If you believe that all those thoughts are your own, but yet it is counterintuitive, perplexing. You run away from your own thoughts, huh? Are you intentionally bringing up those thoughts, even though your true intention is to not have them? Mm. Even if you want to stop, it keep on coming up, messing with your day. Uh, Some people can't work, can't talk, can't sleep, can't eat, can't many things. Every time they come, you feel uneasy, have to endure, be it stress, anxiety, shameless, guilt, anger, discomfort, about so many things in life. A voice and pressure that you have to endure. Mm. And you see, in times of crisis, isn't those things that govern you? For those who grew up with anxiety, just like myself, I remember full well how anxiety, how my action are governed by anxiety. When in the friend group, even the tiniest of movement of action or speech, these thoughts never stop coming. Looking back at it, it doesn't mean anything. The thing that I did nothing wrong. It's normal thing even, but at that time, uh, it never stopped. The thoughts bound with that pressure keep on coming up and up and up. Heartbrokenness, telling you, oh, the person you have crush on, uh, is because of this, because of that, day in, day out, day in, day out. Money, don't have money in your pocket. Oh, how am I gonna live about this, about that? Going to adulthood, which school am I gonna go to? How am I gonna set up family? Everything. You see, not only that, but if they want you to do something, they then say, "Hey, I know it hurts. Now why don't you just do this instead?" They know that we know that we want to be free from suffering, so they proposes all these options. It's not like we never tried. We try and we follow through with every single one for the hope that we can fix this pain. We can not have it. And every time we go through with it, it is then used against us again, worse and worse and worse. Even if we don't want to, the pressure mounts up, the pain increases, the voice louder and louder and louder until unable to endure, we follow through anyway. Some people, these voices are so strong, so loud that even psychiatrists cannot help them. Can't help but just give them pills to numb their senses down. Mm. And you see, once you follow through, the consequences of your action never go unnoticed, will come and bite you again. Even if, even when you're doing it, it's already being used against you. After done it, it will be used against you, no matter how long, even if no one knows of it. But the fact that you know, something long, long ago, are still used against you too. Even if you want to forget, even if you want to forget, you don't want to bring it up. It came up anyway. Now the question is, who brought it up then? Who brought it up? This is this is the first part of the book. The first few opening chapter. So far so good. Does it make sense? Can you guys, uh, what do you think? Thumbs up from Miri. Now reflect on it today. Today, did something like that happen? How about yesterday? How about the day before? Or how about um? How about the last time we suffered? Last time we are anxious. Last time we are jealous. Last time we are uneasy. Last time we are greedy, lustful, angry. Look back and reflect, and you can hear these voices loud and clear. All right.